So we've got a bit of news today regarding Halo, the game that pretty much symbolizes Xbox, is Xbox, and basically launched Xbox. Halo was the game that pretty much put Xbox onto the stratosphere. Now we know about Campaign Evolved. What is coming next? It turns out that multiple projects in Halo are actually in development. Now, we have heard about the rumors of Halo 2 campaign evolved and Halo 3 campaign evolved, and what this will mean for ODST, Halo 4, Halo 5. Will there be those? Halo 5 is still the only Halo that hasn't actually materialized on anything outside of Xbox. It is the one true exclusive that still remains to this day on Xbox. There are probably maybe one or two more, but Halo 5 is the one that stands out the most. However, due to this news here, Halo Studios has multiple Halo titles in development. We do finally get to see the end of Halo Infinite's multiplayer updates. Operation Infinite will be the final content update for this title. Now, whether you love Halo Infinite or hate Halo Infinite, regardless of how you stand, it hasn't lived up to the promise of their legacy, where they promised this game would last for 10 years. They promised continual updates, which they pretty much abandoned within the first year for the single player campaign. And then, of course, the multiplayer kicked in and they had a team dedicated to continue working on it. What will this mean for the future of Halo multiplayer? Because now they're just promising soft updates like double XP and things like that. But in terms of new content, we're not going to see any. Are they going to make a new multiplayer? One that maybe appeals to the audience a little better straight out the gate and has the game modes for them? Time will tell. But it does seem like the team that's working on Halo Infinite multiplayer will be moving to the projects for Halo 2, Halo 3, Campaign Evolved. At least that's what I believe those games are going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see where that's going. Of course, these games will all land day and date on PC, Xbox, and Xbox Game Pass, Xbox PC, and of course, PlayStation 5. Now, will these games land eventually on the Nintendo Switch too? Time will tell. But it is, you know, it's the end of an era for Halo Infinite. It did its best to stay relevant, and honestly, I think it did pretty well. But the lack of support and the complete mismanagement of the Halo team really did, unprecedented damage to Halo Infinite and its future updates that were supposed to arrive. It was supposed to be a 10-year project. They said this multiple times, and it just wasn't. But let's see what they're going to do with this new version of Halo running on Unreal Engine 5. We've already seen the footage and it is kind of jittery here and jittery there. The key here is to optimize from the beginning, as Tim Sweeney constantly says. But will the developers actually listen or deliver a stuttering mess yet again? Time will tell. But am I excited to be playing the original Halos again? Of course. Halo is a big part of, it has been a big part of my childhood. So getting more Halo is always good. And they are changing it. It's not a one-to-one rendition, which I'm kind of happy about. I know a lot of people are upset about this, but the fact that they're adding levels and making it better story contextually wise, I think is a good thing, and it modernizes the experience somewhat. There's nothing wrong with the way the original was, and if you want to play the original, you can go back and play it. Halo 5, for example, had multiple missions ripped out because they just simply didn't have the budget for it. So when you saw the story jumping all over the place, that's why. Maybe now, by the time they get to Halo 5 campaign evolved, they will actually reintegrate those missions and actually make it a coherent story. So those people that constantly flamed Halo 5 may actually end up liking it in the end, because maybe it'll make a lot more sense. Time will tell. We also have Rebs here saying Halo Studios responding to ending major updates for Infinite with multiple Halo titles in development. We'll need our whole team's combined focus to deliver new experiences with the same passion and care that our community has given us. Also, they will reveal more info on Campaign Evolved next year. Now, as you know, next year is Microsoft's 25th anniversary. So they are going to be going out there and making massive fireworks. We should be seeing lots and lots of cool stuff next year to celebrate the 25th anniversary. So I expect a cool limited edition, collector's edition for Campaign Evolved. We may even see a next generation Xbox next year. If they were ever going to do one, that is the time to do it, because as you know, there's another little game that's around the corner that's been delayed, but that now creates a big problem for Microsoft, especially with the number of games coming out. So, as you can see here, Colt Eastwood quite rightly says Xbox may be the world's biggest game publisher, but they are not the only one. With GTA 6 delayed to November, this could impact Halo Remake, Gears E-Day, and the next Call of Duty, which all launch around the November timeline, basically in time for GTA 6. Don't get me wrong, these games are big. Halo has had definitely problems over the years and its relevance has definitely dwindled. Gears as well. But Call of Duty still remains a mammoth within the gaming industry. The problem is, I don't see any of these standing up to the likes of Grand Theft Auto. And if Grand Theft Auto does release at the time, that's going to be very problematic. But as I said, if they can time their console to release in November as well, this could possibly be Microsoft's best opportunity to actually get in there and do something right. This is literally a gold mine waiting to happen. The- GTA 6 will be best played on the next generation Xbox. The PS5 Pro just won't be adequate enough to compete with the next generation Xbox. So all these people that were buying PS5 Pros to play GTA 6, on the best possible way, they will now be potentially picking up the next generation Xbox because that will brute force a much better performance. Or maybe it will unlock a new mode that will allow the Series X to perform even better, almost like a mid gen refresh, but just way more, maybe like double the power, triple the power, that sort of thing. So instead of getting that kind of 60 FPS, it potentially could hit more. This would also attract those PC gamers who basically want a PC and play on a PC. Well, they can now get that next generation Xbox, which is a PC console hybrid, and get that GTA day one. This would be a really, really good thing for all involved. But will Microsoft take advantage of it? And I think they should, especially with all their games launching at that time. Otherwise, if they don't, I can see Halo, Gears, and Call of Duty being pushed sometime into 2027 because no one in their right mind wants to compete with Grand Theft Auto. Silent Hill 2 is releasing on Xbox on November the 21st. This is one day before my birthday, according to the Xbox Store. Now, as we know, the the exclusivity deal, was a timed exclusivity deal that Sony signed, which was for 1 year. That year is about to elapse. And so this has probably been in development for some time. It might even be ready. Well, based on the actual timing, it should already be ready and available to go out. I suspect it's going to be digital only, but that is at the end of the day Silent Hill 2. A lot of people have been after this. If you are on Xbox only, now's a good time to pick this up. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy it. As you can see, you can play with Xbox Series S and X and PC, which means it should, in theory, be Play Anywhere. But it's not actually listed as Play Anywhere on the actual Silent Hill 2 picture. But when you see the Xbox Series X and S and PC, it kind of insinuates that it is. So we'll update that as and when we know. Halo Infinite is finally closing down, and they are directing all their focus onto the multiple Halo projects that they've got in the works. I suspect it's going to be Halo 2 and Halo 3 campaign evolved. That's what logically makes sense before they go and evolve past the infinite timeline. But yeah, it's interesting to see exactly where things are going. I'm almost at 8,000 subs, folks. If we can get there by the end of November, that would be amazing. If you are enjoying this content, do consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. We've been teetering so close. So if you are enjoying it and haven't yet subscribed and are a returning viewer that constantly watches this content, please do consider subscribing. Hit that like button, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. As always,